We speak now to Gladwin Malishe, who is the Durban Chamber of Commerce. He speaks to us from the Durban Chamber of Commerce. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us.
Good evening, Tepiso, and good evening to your listeners.
Your reaction on the President's speech. I mean, he obviously spoke about the extent of the damage that we know so far, but the Durban Chamber of Commerce has previously said, in fact, has called on local and provincial government to share with you the plans that it has, just in terms of rebuilding. Are you happy now?
Tepiso, let me start by, on behalf of the Durban Chamber and organized business, to continue sending our condolences to those who have passed on and praying for the strength of their families. As indeed, Tepiso, we are encouraged by the speech of the President. In fact, we are actually delighted that he can see the need of having business and other sectors to be involved in terms of planning for the future. I think what needs to happen now is that whatever rebuild and reconstruction that is happening, it's a reconstruction that is looking at the future, not just rebuilding what was there. But because we have seen these rains, I think in 2019 we had some floods in KZN, and these ones that we have today are actually have been more harmful than the other. So we don't know what's coming next. So it's important that when we start building, we are building looking at the future. What is the future that we want to see? And if we have such floods, for instance, how do we make sure that we don't lose life like we have actually done? So it is important for what the President has actually done, also to make sure to bring confidence to the business sector. Business sector is also people who are actually contributing to the fiscals through the taxes. So making sure that there is less corruption will be one of the positive things to come out of this. So it is important that we get involved in different sectors to make sure that, one, we are producing what is fitting the amount of money that has come out of the fiscus, and we can be happy to see the infrastructure that will actually come out of this. So we are indeed delighted that he has come to that conclusion.
Is it encouraging that the President says that they're also going to ensure that they bring in experts? I'd imagine most of the time this is what the complaint has been from onlookers who say those who are corrupt create a way of doing this by keeping out of the loop people who have the expertise to actually caution and say, actually, this amount of money for this kind of service really, it seems out of bounds, and we actually don't need such services. Do you think this will particularly help in nipping in the bud those who have a nefarious intent?
Absolutely. We believe that this will actually open up for transparency, so that we all know what exactly the infrastructure being built and how much does it cost and who are the experts. So it is important, number one, to make sure that we are building something that we need. And number two, it is within the budget. It is not over budgeted for. It is important to make sure that what we are building is what we agree upon, that we really need that kind of infrastructure moving forward. So involving all of those discipline into that committee will make sure that there is a return for investment. The public itself that will be using that infrastructure will be able in the future to say, this was built after the aftermath of the floods and we still have it. So we need to have infrastructure that our generation that is coming after us will be able to use.
The magnitude and the frequency of the storms, you've said, are proving to be a massive risk for growth and development of the local economy. We saw that the Minister of Small Business was there just a few days ago speaking about what government can do to lend a hand. I can come to you and say, this is what I think you need, but you, as the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, you would have spoken to some of these small business owners. I know that there was supposed to be a farmers market for one, because of the road closures and many other impacts of the floods. This could not happen. It's had, a domino effect on a whole lot of areas. What should government be focusing on, especially the Department of Small Business, at this point?
Well, at this point, through our networks as well as our stakeholders, we have issued out through KZN and Economic Development requests for information. It is important for us to know exactly what business have been affected, where is their need moving forward, so that we can be able to quantify the kind of the amount of money that is needed to assist them. Number two, to know exactly what kind of an assistance that they need. So as much as the minister has come and they've actually put the value, but we are saying let us maybe wait until we know exactly what's on the ground. It's important. That's how business work. We all normally do research and be able to do our homework before we get into something. So we are actually collecting that information, and that information will be used when we interact with the different departments, including the Department of Small Business, to tell them exactly where the need is, who are the people that are affected, and how can they be assisted. So that's how we want to move forward, so that we can really help those who really need help and help them where they need help.
And thank you so much for speaking to us, Gladwin Malishe, who is Durban Chamber of Commerce, speaking on their behalf at the moment.